Hello. Today this video is sponsored by my other half. She bought me this model kit so I didn't have to use any of her stuff. So let's start scratching that build. The kit in question is a pickup truck by Meng, and I think I'm going to turn this into a post-apocalyptic food truck. First things first, let's get all the bags out of the box and plan how I'm going to do this. I don't know why I'm reading the instructions, as I always lose track of where I am, so let's just start snipping bits off sprues. Snip, snip, snip. With the snipping done, I quickly rustled together the interior of the vehicle. I have to add at this point there wasn't any flashing on the plastic and was pretty easy to follow the instructions until little bits didn't fit, and these didn't fit. These are the interior bits for the doors that I painted up because I was going to paint the inside first and then glue the vehicle top onto it, and because these guys wouldn't fit properly I just left them off. But in true kitbashing fashion, I will use these at a later date. I don't know if you can see properly, but I painted the inside of the vehicle and glued it in the interior. Now it's onto the chassis. And this bit caused some problems as the plastic had slightly warped. It wouldn't fit into the guide holes. No problem, I'll just snip off bits that I don't need. With the cosmetic surgery done, I promptly glued the chassis to the vehicle. Now it was time to assemble the truck bed together, and this is where I start to veer off the instructions and begin proper kit bashing. I'm only going to use one side of the wings as I have plans for the other side. But to get there, I need to put the floor of the truck bed in first. Because I'd altered how the chassis was sitting, I had to snip away a couple of supports to get the truck bed to sit properly. Once I did that, I could then add the side. With the side in place, I fixed the bonnet to the truck and broke out some 1mm plastic ad. I've had this model kit on the shelf for years and finally have a build where I can use it. Well, I'm just going to use the table from this kit. I do some more snipping action before assembling the workbench together. The legs on the table will have to go. And then a quick sand down using the other half's nail file. To cover the bottom of the table, I'll use a piece of plastic ad. And now I can finally glue my counter to the pickup truck. With the table being longer than the actual truck, I need more plastic ad to start building it up. I'm not too worried if some of these offcuts of plastic ad look wonky. It's supposed to look ramshackled and thrown together with bits of anything that the person could find. And while I do that, I'm going to post some names on screen as a thank you to all my subscribers who have left comments on previous builds. Keep the interaction going as it helps the channel get noticed from YouTube or by YouTube. I also have on here on YouTube a channel membership for a couple of euros a month. You get to see future builds weeks before anyone else, also awesome badges and your own members shout out on screen. With scraps of plastic ad, I make a box for the back of the truck. Still using plastic ad, I'm going to add some shelves and add some side panels to make a little service area where the table is. Time to add panels to cover the windows. That beige bit of plastic came from a tank model kit. I'm going to use my drill to apply some bullet holes into the panels, and then use more little bits of offcuts of plastic just to cover the other windows on the pickup truck. This device is a toothbrush squeezer. I've used this before, so there'll be no accidents. I'm going to get some very thin plastic card and turn it into corrugated panels. You can see I didn't squeeze hard enough on the plastic, but the effect will be just fine. With the panels cut down, I start applying them around the vehicle. I figured that over the years the food truck has taken a beating, and applying panels on top of panels was the only way to go. Another offcut of plastic card, which is the size of the roof, will get some panels. These bits are the suspension from the Meng model kit. I saved them and I'm going to use them for the roof. I had two small blocks that, with a cut down bit of sprue attached to them, I think it will give the illusion of security cameras. This bit was very fiddly and had me crawling on the floor more than once looking for them, but I think it was worth it. I needed a sign for the top of the pickup roof, so carefully cut some plastic card and glued that onto the roof. With that in place, I then greebled up the roof well into the night, and as that dried, turned my attention to the base, which will be XPS foam board. Using a BBQ stick, I work out how high I want my food truck to be off the ground. I use some piping that you cover cables with to hide the BBQ stick. Hot glue works best with the XPS foam, and I glue the pipe into place. I then do a quick test fit to see if I've got my measurements right. Then I'll add some thinner piping so that both pipes are joined together, and curl it around the base to a generator I'll make shortly. I pre-drilled some holes into the underneath of the pickup truck for hanging wires. And while I do that, it's code word time. If you're leaving a comment, put this code word in your comment so I know you got here without skipping to the end. And the code word is sushi. Remember, if you like what you've seen so far, drop a like, subscribe and drop a comment. I reply to all. I made the generator off screen out of bits of broken toys, which I'll quickly hot glue to the base, and then attach the pipe to it. I add the grill to the front of the truck. Because this is going to be a flying pickup, I use the rim from the kit and then attach another rim from a tank kit, and then glue them to the wheel arches. I made an executive decision to add more panels to the front of the pickup to make it more in keeping with this post-apocalyptic setting. My attention then turned to the underneath of the pickup, where I added bits of sprues and other detail bits that I'd not used from the kit. Then it was time for the wires. I like having wires hanging from models as I think it gives it that worn, mashed together look. Before I called it a night, I wanted to get this base prepared, so I just quickly put down some black acrylic paint. I dried the base off with Jeff, my hairdryer, then applied this Green Stuff World crackle paint. I've had mixed results in the past, so here go. Oh dear. Okay. So yeah, I just applied that to the base. Next morning I painted the truck a grey, missing spots to give it a weathered look. I usually forget to paint the interior, so I made sure that the interior got a good coat. I wanted the truck to be a total different colour, so I chose blue. Then went back over the cabin with a lighter colour to represent how over time the truck had been patched up. I almost very nearly forgot to paint the roof. Then started on the panels using a brush to paint them various colours. With the sign I knew I wanted it to stand out, so hit it with a white first for the base colour. Then using a fluorescent orange I applied one of 5 coats to the food sign. I think actually it took about 7 coats just to get it to this level. Next came the transfers. I bought these from airhobbies.com, link will be in the description. They were cheaper than Green Stuff World website, which is baffling. A little disclaimer, I'm not the greatest at putting transfers on, so please don't copy me. I had a slight brain fog at this point as I was going to put this transfer into the cabin, so I had to do a little damage control to make it fit. I think the little rips and tears work. Using the airbrush, I gave the vehicle a light dusting of Iraq sand from Vallejo. My technique here is hard to describe, but I'm basically just trying to get splashes of paint in places to represent dust and grime. A jump bot piece, which is a cool light unit, is stuck into place to represent the flying mechanics of the food wagon. The clear tubes are stuck into pre-drilled holes, which hopefully will light up the inside of the truck. It was a fiddly job trying to get these tubes into place, but I'm hoping that it's going to be worth it. Moment of truth time. With everything working correctly, it was time to get this build assembled. Next came the finishing details, which were adding boxes and bottles. The most fiddliest bits were trying to get these tiny bottles into place. I've probably more on the man cave floor than on the actual build. But I persevered and got the look I was aiming for eventually. This bit wasn't in my plans, but I quickly rustled up a small flying platform using some greeblies I had laying around for my figure I was originally going to use as the owner of the food wagon. The actual owner of the food establishment is well, I'll let you guys decide on that one. I used some tentacles from a broken toy as arms and stuck them into place. All that's left is the roof to glue down, and next are the glamour shots. So thanks very much for watching, hope you enjoyed this kit bash, and until next time, keep scratching that build everybody.